And without them, we wouldn't be seeing all of these movies. Back in the 90s, there were still a couple of movie theaters in Chinatown where you could go to see films, and they closed. And Freddie Hendrix, Mark Walkow, and Goran, they helped close the gap so that these films could continue to be seen here. So I want you to give them a huge round of applause for saying that. Okay, that's enough. It's time for Freddie Hendrix. Please welcome Freddie.
Good evening. I'm going to use a microphone because this is a fancy occasion. So, two things I want to do before we start off tonight. I want to thank two sets of people. The first I want to thank is Indomina, who are the people who are going to be releasing Detective D on September 2nd. It'll be at the Landmark Sunshine and the Lowe's NYAFF. Do I get my check now? But they've been really great to work with, and they're the reason you're seeing this tonight and are making this possible. So a big hand for Indomina. And the second group of people, it's always weird for me when we thank these guys. The Hong Kong Economic Trade Office has been helping us for the last few years. They really foot the bill when we bring over Hong Kong filmmakers, Hong Kong films. We wouldn't have gotten the print of Zoo or Dragon Inn or The Blade if they hadn't really been willing to go out there and go to the rights holders and say we're the Hong Kong government and you don't have a choice, give them the movie. So we want to say when we started Subway Cinema, we were just a bunch of weird white guys sitting in the Music Palace with stray cats running around. And it's really weird for us to go from there to Lincoln Center working with the Hong Kong government to bring over filmmakers like Tsui Hark. So a huge thank you for the Hong Kong Economic Trade Office. I don't think I need to tell anyone in this room anything about Tsui Hark, go over his career, his achievements, or anything like that. It's one of the things that's been really strange. We've been doing this festival for 10 years, bringing over Hong Kong films and Asian films for 11. We've been bringing over guests before. We never had a guest like this. Every single other guest that we have has been sitting in the retrospective screenings we've shown of his movies. They've been turning down interviews, just not answering the phone for phone interviews, to come and watch Tsui Hark's movies. They want to meet him. They're guests from Korea, Japan, Taiwan. All they want to do is meet Tsui Hark and see his films. And I've been taking them around to do some press, and everywhere we go, there are people waiting who want to shake his hand or take a picture, get an autograph. And it's the strangest thing. You watch these journalists who are some of the most cynical, bitter, loveless people on earth, and they see Tsui Hark and they turn into little kids seeing Santa Claus. Because one of the things with Tsui Hark is he makes us all kids again. We go to the movies to see something new. We go as much as we talk about auteur theory and we read film comment, we do all these things, we want to go and we want to be 12 years old and we want to have our minds blown. And Tsui Hark takes that responsibility so seriously. He has dedicated his life to putting something new on screen again and again and again. And his movies, and the thing he does in his films that I think no other filmmaker does quite as well is they're never cynical, they're never down, they're never depressing. No matter how much history repeats itself, no matter how violent things get, no matter how many times we say goodbye, no matter how many times lovers are parted, there's always a chance for a better tomorrow. There's always a chance for something better the next day if we just hold on. And that's what he's been dedicating his life to doing for years. And so before we bring him out, we just want to show a brief clip from Detective D. So in case anyone has never seen the Tsui Hark movie, you'll see it before, so you know who you're clapping for. So let's roll that clip, please.
天后點引你咧？陰黐黐咁攞水攞咁耐，咁衝動點反應？都係咁。 都我已經交到你手上㗎啦，嚟啊，幫我睇。
Very formal, but it's just a way to say thank you. So we're going to now present the Lifetime Achievement Award, which is really just all of us in this room turning to Tsui Hark and saying thanks to the movies. Ladies and gentlemen, Tsui Hark. We need someone who's going to present you with this award, and we needed to find someone who is worthy. And we thought long and hard, it's certainly not me, and certainly not anyone in Subway Cinema. And we realized that there is one person, a Chinese director who was an enormously influential director in the 60s and 70s. He's acted, produced, done everything there is to do. He made a movie called Story of a Discharged Prisoner that Tsui Hark later adapted into a movie called A Better Tomorrow. He's appeared in some of Tsui Hark's movies like Black Mask. If Tsui Hark is the father to a generation of filmmakers, this man is the grandfather. Ladies and gentlemen, please, it's a great honor to welcome Patrick Lone-Collins.
Thanks, Brady, for your nice words. And I am really honored to be here tonight to present this Lifetime Achievement to our great director from Hong Kong, Tsui Hark. And I really would like to say a few words about him. Although you know a lot of him from the media, but there's a few things I want you to know. But with my lousy English, I can hardly express myself. So I'm going to speak Cantonese. And you don't know Cantonese, don't you? No, never mind. I have a beautiful young lady here who will transfer every word of it. Whatever I say, she will transfer, all right? All right, now let me tell you a few things about Tsui Hark. With his very first director of a film, it's called Butterfly Murders. It's the very first film. And that he really doing it with the budget more than 2-3 times, and his voice is Tsui Hark is killing me, Tsui Hark is killing me. And I'm a very good fan of that voice. I look at him, I say, calm down, or you will make your money back. And actually I worry, not for the boss, but for Tsui Hark, because he's the very young director. And if he lost money, and he might not get another job from this force at least. Unfortunately, I think after 20-30 years, that force hired him again to make the Dragon Inn. I think you saw it a night before, right? That's the same boss. That's one thing. So Tsui Hark, although he starts at the very beginning, he insists to make a better film, never compromise anything. How come I keep speaking English? Can you understand it? If you can, I'll just keep doing that. All right, now let me talk about another thing. I make a movie called 英雄本色. That's a story of a disaster. I made that film with $90,000 Hong Kong. That's roughly about $15,000 US. And then Tsui Hark redo it. He spent roughly $9 million. And then, of course, he made a lot of money for his boss too. And then he made a world famous director, John Woo, and a world famous actor, Zhao Yunfei, and a great achievement. And about Wong Fei Hong, everybody knows if you are Chinese, right? Wong Fei Hong is actually a Kung Fu master in a very small village, and he owns a shop, medicine shop. Maybe rubbing here and there. It's nothing big. And then Tsui Hark comes along. He make it. He call it Once Upon a Time in China. And this Wong Fei Hong is no more a little Kung Fu master. He moved him to Texas, border between Mexico and Texas. And then he made that film there 3 months with hundreds of people. That's Tsui Hark. Okay. And then another thing. Only yesterday, he suddenly asked me, how many people you bring along to Hiroshima when you make Hiroshima 28? And I told him, I bring 10 people, and 7 of them are actors and actresses. And 1 cameraman, 1 assistant, 1 producer, and myself. And then I asked him back, I said, how many crew members you use in your recent film, 3D? He said, 650. 650? Well, it's a little bit too much, I know. It's 650. Now, this is Tsui Hark. Anything to his hand, never compromise. He will do his very best, very insist. Always fight against the boss, and just do whatever he can. And now he gets a Lifetime Achievement Award.